Welcome to Talk Fantasy with Travis YouTube channel. So on this video, we're going to do our Gameweek 4 preview as well as doing some analysis on my previous Gameweeks, showing you some of the players that I didn't have from Gameweek 1 and to Gameweek 3 that I'm planning to bring in from Gameweek 4, maybe going to Gameweek 6, where I'm going to wildcard, or maybe on Gameweek 7. So I have two free transfers with me. So from Gameweek 1 up until Gameweek 3, I only did one transfer, which was on Gameweek 2. I will show you some of the players that I have on the player that I had on Gameweek 1 that I planned to sell. Then I bring in another player to my team from Gameweek 2 to Gameweek 3. So now let's go to my team from Gameweek 1. So as you can see on the screen, my team for Gameweek 1, I had 65 points, but it didn't perform very well. I wasn't expecting my team to perform this way, but it did perform that way. So from Gameweek on Gameweek 1, I didn't have Salah on my team. I only had Haaland. I didn't even have any dream to maybe to have Salah on my team. I wasn't planning to do so. I had Jota, so I thought maybe Jota would be a replacement of Salah. But as time goes on Game Week 2, 3, that's when I saw that Salah might be an asset to have on my team, because Salah has been doing wonders, as well as even Haaland. Even though I have Haaland, but I feel like having Salah and Haaland also is going to solve my problem of captains. As we all know that every fantasy season, or we would know that it's either with Captain Haaland or Captain Salah. It's usually not possible to go on a game week without captaining them. Maybe sometimes, yeah, you might captain maybe Palmer or other players, but usually most of the times it's all about Haaland or Salah most of the time. So taking a look at my on my team, I had 65 points. On the goalkeeper, I had Henderson. We had 2 points. Yeah, this one I just took this goalkeeper because of price, but I didn't take him because of performance, or maybe I was expecting maybe to see some clean sheets. No, it wasn't the case. I just bought Henderson just because he was a better, cheaper option for 4.5 million. As we all know that most of the 4.5 million goalkeepers don't start any game, but for Henderson, he was starting. That's why I brought him to my team. I was also considering if I have an over 4.5 million goalkeeper, I'm going to struggle to have some of the players on my team, because I have $0 on my account, because I have Haaland on my team. That's why I'm having a poor goalkeeper, maybe some poor defense, a better midfield, but one of the best forwards on my team. So taking a look at my team, Henderson didn't perform very well. He had 2 points. Then as for Trent, he got 8 points. Yeah, you would see that the 7 million is worth it, the 7 million. Then also look at Paul. Paul did very well. He had 9 points. Paul performed very well. Even the last season, he performed very well. So looking at Konsa, I just brought him, but as a cheaper option, but I didn't expect that he would perform this way. So he's one of those players that I decided to transfer out on Game Week 2. Looking at my midfield, I had Fernandez. I was looking forward to see Fernandez doing some wonders, maybe scoring goals, maybe assisting. But to my surprise, Fernandez failed to do any of those things. Even though Manchester United won, but he managed to get 3 points, which wasn't that good for me. Then looking at Jota did very well. Looking at Saka did very well. Saka is obvious. He's always going to do very well each and every game week. Looking at Eze also, he didn't perform very well. I wasn't expecting to see this from him. Looking at my front, I had João Pedro, I have Haaland, I had also Isak. I don't really know what made me captain Isak instead of Haaland. Since Haaland was playing Chelsea, I thought maybe it's going to be a difficult fixture for Haaland, but Haaland probably did a little bit very well. He got 7 points. As for Isak got 5 points. So if I had captain maybe Haaland, I would have been somewhere else. As comparing to my other colleagues, we had Salah and their teams. They were very happy because they captained Salah, and Salah performed very well and they got so many points. Now going to my game week 2, I already had plans to make a transfer on the defense line, because I know that Konsa is not going to keep any clean sheet. So going to game week 2, so on my game week 2 I got 80 points, and I didn't change much of my team, but I was fortunate enough to be able to to buy Robinson, whom I was even doubting that he's going to perform very well, but he performed very well on this game week. As well as if you're looking on my defense, you would see that it performed very well because all of them got clean sheets. Looking at Paul, except the goalkeeper, like I said before, that as for the goalkeeper, I didn't buy him expecting to see some clean sheets, but I bought this goalkeeper because I know that he's the cheaper option who's going to start each and every game. So that's why I bought this goalkeeper. Looking at my midfield as well, my midfield didn't change. I just only made one transfer of the defender. My defense, uh, my midfielders didn't change. They remain the same. If you look at my midfielders, two players disappointed me for another game week. On game week 1 they did the same. On game week 2 they did the same. Now it was Eze and Bruno Fernandes. So I was looking forward to sell Eze and Bruno Fernandes if they do not perform very well on game week 3. Looking at Jota did very well, and then Saka also did very well. Looking at my forwards, Isaac didn't perform very well. João Pedro did well. Looking at Haaland did the best because he had a hat-trick. I was expecting to see the hat-trick. I was even planning to triple captain him, but I just decided not to triple captain. I felt like maybe it's too early. Maybe I'll do some triple captain maybe later on, maybe second leg of the season. That's when I'm going to do a triple captain, because maybe these players might have some double game weeks and stuff. So looking at my bench didn't change anything. It was just the same because this bench was just there to make me have 15 players only, but it wasn't any strategic bench. Now looking at my game week 3, I would say that I did very well, but also I didn't have Salah on my team, but I did very well. That's what I would say, that because it did very well. Looking at my goalkeeper, Ederson got 4 points. Looking at my defense, Robinson got an assist, and he was given 4 points because Crystal Palace, because Fulham didn't keep a clean sheet. Looking at Trent, his goal that he scored on Manchester United was disallowed because of an offside, but if it was allowed, maybe Trent was going to be around 10 points or so, and I was going to be happy. Looking at Poro didn't perform even very well. He got 1 point, but he was trying to make some shots, but he couldn't get any goal, or maybe he couldn't get any assist during that game. Looking at my midfield, most of my players did very well, except for Fernandes and Jota. I was expecting to see maybe Jota scoring at least one goal or even an assist, but it was all done by Diaz and Salah. Looking at Fernandes wasn't even performing very well. Looking at Eze was his first time to do very well, so I was happy to see him doing what he does. Then looking at Saka performed a little bit better, but it wasn't his best performance. Then looking at my strikers, I had Isaac did very well, João Pedro, and Haaland also scored another hat-trick, which not everybody was expecting to see, but he did it. He even failed to get an assist. So Haaland was supposed to get an assist plus 3 goals because he assisted the other goal to Luis, and Luis failed to score the goal. So I'm now doing a preview on my game week 4, and which players am I going to transfer out and which players am I going to transfer in. So based on the performance of my players on game week 3, I was planning to do 2 transfers, especially on my midfield, because I'm planning to have Salah, because I saw the stats were saying that most of Fantasy players, most of FPL managers are doing transfers, wildcarding, maybe taking a hit of 4 points for them to get better players, maybe to get Salah and so on. So as you can see on my team hasn't changed, but I'm going to do 2 transfers. I'm not going to wildcard, but I'm going to use my 2 free transfers from game week 2 and 3 that I said. So I'm going to transfer I was planning to do it. I was planning to do a transfer on Saka and also transfer on Bruno Fernandes. Looking at my forwards, I will see that Haaland, Haaland, João Pedro, and Isak are not going to be. I'm not going to substitute them. They are going to remain on my team. But it seems like Haaland has an issue. I think maybe it's an injury or something like that. Yeah, Haaland is a personal reason, so probably Haaland might not be able to play on the next coming game. So I'm not sure. So if I had a plan to do some transfers on my midfield, I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'm just going to keep Haaland. I'm not going to sell Haaland because he isn't going to start maybe on the next game. I will wait to see from the press conference tomorrow what would they say about Haaland, so that maybe we would make a decision. But even if Haaland did not start, I'm not going to substitute him. I'm not going to sell him. I'm just going to do my two transfers that I've just already planned. So my two transfers are going to be like this. I'm going to replace, because I need to bring in Salah on my team. So I'm going to replace Saka with Salah. Then I'm also going to I'm also going to replace Bruno Fernandes with another midfield, maybe Rogers, maybe who's the other player, maybe Smith Rowe or maybe Semen. But I've been looking at Semen and I saw that he's performing very well. So let me just go to some transfers, then I will show you what am I saying. So if you look at these midfielders, let's search for Semen. You will see that he's been performing very well. So here is Semen. He's a Bournemouth player, so you will see that his performance was okay, because on the first game, on game week 1 against Forest, he got 8 points. Then on game week 2 he got 5 points. Then on game week 3 he got 6 points. Probably I might bring him in back because I feel like he's going to perform very well, because his total points are 19 points. And then also the probability for him to get 90 minutes each and every game is too high. Most of the games he's always having 90 minutes. On the first game he got 90 minutes. On the second game is always on third game he also had 90 minutes of play. So he might be a player to have, though his next two coming fixtures might not be that favorable, because you have Chelsea and also you have Liverpool. Probably I'm not going to expect much from this player because his game weeks are not that performing very well. But from game week 6 and 7, he's going to have better fixtures. Then from there up until game week 11, that's when he's going to have best fixtures up until game week 21. So probably I might have this player maybe from game week 4 up until game week 7, because he has some better features, but not maybe not up until game week 11 or so. So maybe I'm just going to have this player maybe from game week 4 to 7. I'm not sure when am I going to keep on holding to this player, because he has some bad features from 8 up until 10. Those features are very difficult. So, and also I'm looking at another replacement, which might be Smith Rowe, but I'm not trusting Smith Rowe. Yeah, he might be having 90 minutes of play, but I'm not really trusting him because he's not performing like what everyone has been expecting him to do so. Because on the previous game he got 2 points against Ipswich. Now their next game they are going to play against West Ham. Then the next game they are going to have Newcastle. So probably I might also plan to have this player, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to get if I'm going to sign Smith Rowe. And also another replacement that I'm planning, that I might have on my team, is Rogers. Rogers is also doing a little bit very well, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have this player because he's been performing very well. But most of these FPL managers are always having this player, but I don't see his value because he isn't performing very well. From game week 1 up until game week 3, he's always been getting 2 points like Bruno Fernandes, I must say. So, but even though he had some better features from game week 3, from game week 4, up until game week 9, he has better fixtures, or he has good fixtures, but I'm not in trust with him that he might give me some good points. Same as Bruno Fernandes. Even if they have a good fixture, but they might not give you the points that you're expecting to get from the player. So basically, this is my plan. So my plan will be like this. So if I go here, then if I replace this player, if I replace Saka with Salah, so let's look at Salah here. Then also, where's Salah? So I want to replace Saka with Salah. Then also, I'm also going to replace Fernandes with any less than 6 million midfield who might be an asset to my team. So looking at these midfielders, I've been talking about Semenyo. Semenyo has been doing very well. This is the defender that I think maybe I might have on my team. So if I get Semenyo, you will see that I will be left with the 0.1 million on my bank, and I'm not going to take any hit, unlike other FPL managers that are going to take hits for them to have Salah. At this time of the moment, probably we should have Salah for so many reasons. The main reason is that Haaland, as you can see, that he has some personal reasons. So it means that Haaland might not be able to start, or might not be on the bench for Manchester City game, the next game to come. Looking at Salah, Salah is always going to be my captain, even if Haaland doesn't start. So my plan is I'm not going to sell Haaland. I'm going to keep Haaland, but I'm going to bring in Salah as my captain. Probably, maybe I'm not even going to substitute Haaland. He's going to remain on the ground, even if he's going to take a 0 point. Maybe I might have a player on the bench who might perform very well. Maybe the likes of Wings, or maybe the likes of Johnson. Those are the only two players that might have a game time. Then those are some of the players that might give me some points. Maybe Wings, yeah, he might replace Haaland, probably. That's my plan for game week 4. So going on to game week 5, I'm also planning not to do some major transfers. Maybe I might not even do any major transfer, because I've been rating my team with Fantasy Football Hub. So it's been showing me that my team will be a little bit bad. So based on this team that I have, it has been rated by Fantasy Football Hub, and it was given 95%, means that it's one of the best teams to go with on game week 4. So I'm now moving on to Fantasy Football Hub, so that I will show you the ratings of my team. Even though I'm using the free trial, but if you want, you might upgrade. Then you would use the premium version. They are offering 50% as we are speaking right now. So you pay 50%, then you get access to your team. It will be your team will be analyzed, and you will be even given some of the predicted points, and also you'll be given some recommended transfers based on your team. They might tell you to replace this other player with other player. So looking at my team on Fantasy Football Hub, it was rated 95% because I had I had brought in Semenyo on my team, and I also brought in Salah in my team, and it was given 95%. But let's say if I replace, because the only midfield that I'm going to replace, that I'm not sure if I'm going to sign the player or not, is Semenyo. So let me just do some analysis, then I'll try to replace Semenyo maybe with Smith Rowe or maybe Rogers. Those are the two midfielders that I might consider having on my team besides having Semenyo. So in this case, I'm going to transfer out Semenyo. Then I will see other defender midfield that I might have. Then you would also see the rating based on the AI too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Smith Rowe. Let's say if I want to have Smith Rowe on my team, he's the one, because Smith Rowe and Semenyo are of the same price. They are both on 5.6 million. So let me just make this transfer. Then you will see the rating that is going to be given to my team. As you can see, if I decide to sign Smith Rowe, my team is going to be rated 94% with the AI prediction 2. Then if I replace Smith Rowe with Rogers, these are the defenders that would also want to consider on my team. Remember, I need a defender who's not more than 5.7 million, so that I'll be able to have Salah on my team as well as Haaland. So I'm going to have Rodgers. I don't really know why, but Rodgers is considered to be one of the best options. But I don't see his performance, because he's not been performing very well like Fernand. So there's no way I'm going to hold on to a player that is going to give me 2 points at the end of the day if I have some other players who have been performing very well from game week 1 up until game week 3. So if you take a look at my team, this one is also been rated at 95%, similar to Semen, but probably I'm going to go with the one that I have 7 on the what on the ground. So basically this is the team, and also on this platform Fantasy Football, it can also give you access to make maybe future plannings. Your draft, you can also be able to make some drafts for game week 5, 6, 7 going on. I've also did another draft for my game week 5 and 6. Probably on game week 4, on game week 5 I'm not going to do any transfer, and game week 6 I'm not pretty sure. I might do a wild card, or maybe on game week 7 based on the performance of my players. Probably if I don't do a transfer on game week 5, maybe I might use that free transfer on game week 6. Maybe if I don't do transfer on game week 6, and if I don't wild card, maybe I might have 2 free transfers probably on game week 7, because Saka from game week 7 he's going to have better fixtures. So I might also need Saka on my team, or maybe another Arsenal player. If you let's just go back and look at Saka's fixtures. So let's say on my team I'm going to replace maybe Jota with. So for me to get Saka, I haven't planned yet what am I going to do to get him back, because Saka have some good fixtures from game week 7. So let me just try to replace this one with let me just let me just look at Saka, then you would see that why must we have Saka from game week 7. I saw that he have some good fixtures, Saka. So this is Saka here. Then player info, you would see that from game week 7 Saka have good fixtures. So taking a look at this, Saka have London Derby with Spurs. This might be a difficult game for them, but he might get something. Looking at game week 5, they have Manchester City, which is a difficult fixture. So then going game week 6, 7, 8. So from game week 6 to 8, Saka have good fixtures. So probably I might have him on my team. But from game week 9 up until game week 11, they are very difficult fixtures, which I probably don't even know if I'm going to have him or not. But from game week 12 up until game week 23, or maybe I would say that to game week 34, which is next year, you always be having good figures. This is why I'm saying that Saka, you would need him in the long run. And also I don't think if I'm going to keep on having the Haaland Salah duo, because if you have that, you are probably going to have you're probably going to face some difficulties as time goes on, because your midfield will not be your midfield will not be performing very well because you might be losing some of the key players that might give you points, other than Haaland and having Haaland and Salah on your team at the same time. So going to my draft for game week 5, which I'm not going to go deeper into it, but just moving forward with that team, you will see that it's been rated 95%, and I haven't done any move. But I've been planning, if Semenyo didn't perform very well on game week 4, maybe with the free transfer that I will get, maybe I would consider having Rodgers, but probably I don't think I'm going to do that. Then also moving on to game week 6 stuff, I haven't planned yet my wild card. When am I going to wild card? But it's just the same team. So basically, that's all that I might say on my team for game week 4 preview. So we would wait to hear the the press conference from the managers by tomorrow, so that we'll see if Haaland is going to be available for the Man City against Brentford game, or he's not going to be available. Even if he's going not to be available, that's not going to stop me to have Haaland on my team. I'm always going to have Haaland, because Haaland, if once I sell Haaland, it's going to be difficult for me to get him back to my team because he's too expensive to buy. Looking at my midfield, like I said before, I'm going to go to my Gameweek 4 with those players that I've just mentioned. So, going to Gameweek 4, this is going to be my team. So, on Gameweek 4, my team is going to be like this. I will be having Henderson on the gate as the goalkeeper. Then I'll be having Robinson is one of my defenders, Trent and Paul. Even though Paul and Robertson, I'm doubting if they're going to keep clean sheets. On my midfield, I'm going to have Eze, and Bruno Fernandes is going to be out for Semenyo. Then Saka is going to be out for Salah. Then I'm always going to keep Jota in my team. I was planning to have Diaz, but as we are speaking right now, I cannot do such a move, because if I do such a move, it's either I'm going to take a hit of -4 points, which is what I don't want at this time of the moment. So I'm just going to go with triple Liverpool, which I'm trusting is going to perform very well. As time goes on, maybe on Game Week 5, I might also consider having this other player, 4.5 player, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just look at the price for Luis, that Man City defender. I'm also considering I might have Luis on my team. So Luis is going to replace Robertson, because Robinson is not going to keep clean sheets for some time. So let me just look for Luis, then we'll see that how much is he costing. I might have that midfield. So Luis, as you can see, has also gone up in terms of prices now, 4.7 million. So I won't be able to get this player, but as you can see, his performance has been very well, because on the first game he got 6 points, second game he got 2 points, and then on the third game he got 6 points. This means that he's performing a little bit better and better. So I might consider having this if Pep Guardiola is going to give him more game time like other players. So basically that's all. That's my Game Week 4 preview.